The Canyon Aeroad. Hang on, let me change the passenger seat. This will be a better video. Canyon Aeroad review coming up. Better, that's better. Canyon Aeroad. This is a video not brought to you by Specialized, but this jacket's really good. I really love it. Canyon are very similar to Pragma bikes in that they are direct to consumer seller. They go from the factory straight to you, maybe via their warehouse in Koblenz, Deutschland. They're made in China. Canyon bikes made in China. Fan of that. All the bikes, sorry, 99.9% of the bikes today, the frames are made in China, and that's nothing wrong with that at all. And then most of them are shipped to Taiwan because of punitive tariffs, etc. When you're shipping out of China, there's a lot of taxes and tariffs if you're a big brand like Canyon, Specialized, Pinarello, etc. So they're shipping to Taiwan, and then, or they maybe go to Vietnam or Cambodia or India, other places for the shippings there. So there's a massive logistics spaghetti bowl out there, Urugabig, and it is insane. You know, I have difficulty right now. We're about to go to the Pragma warehouse here in Adelaide. I'm having difficulties sourcing product because of, you know, the corona situation with shipping. The factories are getting smashed with orders. I'm getting, like, you know, pushed. I'm the little small fry. I'm the minnow in the big pond, and I'm getting pushed down while Giant and Specialized and Cannondale and Cervelo, and they get their orders filled, and I'm sitting there like, I matter? They're like, yeah, not really. So, yeah. But so Canyon, you know, nice looking bike. I like the aesthetic account. I like what Canyon's done. They've really, you know, become a no-name brand back in 10 years ago to, like, you know, getting it done. So I think it's really good. They've got sponsoring Matthew Vanderpool. So it's all about marketing, right? This whole gig is about marketing, and I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I want to stay the little minnow. I want to stay the little goldfish swimming around the tank and just having this relaxing lifestyle that I have. I don't want to become a barracuda. Not at all. Barracuda life ain't for me, you know. I'd like to swim as fast as a barracuda, but, you know, so that's the deal here. So straight away, the Pragma bikes, people compare them, you know, compare your bikes to that and say, my bikes are better paint, proprietary part, no worries there. So the issue with Canyon, I find, is they're pushing this integrated cockpit. You know, what they're doing now, which is, you know, sort of clever, it's a Chinese idea, I'd say, is the handlebars come apart, which is not what you want on your bike. You don't want your handlebars coming apart. But, when you're riding it, okay? But what they're doing is it's got these little bolts under the handlebars, you can undo them, and then you can fold it down for transport. So that's not a bad idea. But my question is, will that ever get play? Will it rattle? You know, the noobs out there won't put their bars on, like, you know, who knows? I don't like that design, personally. I think it's creative, fantastic. But for me, what's wrong with an alloy bar, like a 3T Supernova, Ergonova? What's wrong with that? Or a Ritchie bar? An alloy bar with an alloy stem. You can get the exact micro adjustment, you know, exact position you want, which can vary day to day. You know, and it's just reliable, it's affordable, it's like recyclable. I just love alloy bars and stems. And so does Lance Armstrong, and so does the majority of the peloton, if they have a choice. Alloy bars and stems, slightly adjustable. Fantastic. Just works. Just works, people. But what we want as a consumer, you know, we want to be little dancing monkeys and we're like, hey, we want a new toy to play with, when the other one was just fine, actually, as good as it was going to get. The bikes aren't getting better. They are not getting better. They're getting heavier, they're getting discos, and they're getting, you know, just more bone rattling, which is fine if you're a racer. Crits, yeah. But if you're a stage rider, man, I've done stage racing, and it ain't fun to ride a jawbreaker, a jaw rattler, a bone sherbet pounder every day. It gets a bit, you know, fatigue inducing. The best bike Canyon ever made was their Ultimate, you know, and their Enduro a few years ago, 5 years ago, rim brake, things like that, you know, 27.2 seat post, just easy replaceable stuff. And now the trend, who started this stupid Aeroad Disc bike trend? Who started that? Who started that? By sponsoring Peter Sagan and giving him a disc, you know, allegedly a disc brake bonus in the Tour de France 2018. Who started that stupid trend of dentist barrister Aeroad Disc bikes? Who started that? Whoever started that. Anyway, first world problems here. This is first world problems. If the worst thing in your life going on is you bought a 8 kilo, $10,000 Aeroad disc brake bike, who cares? This is just me nitpicking. Personally, I love this feeling of a sub 7 kilo bike. It just feels great. It's zippy, alloy bars, alloy stem, no faff, and integrated cables. You have to like put through the hand. Yeah. I work on my own bikes, and I wouldn't want to own a bike where the mechanic at the shop is going, oh man, dread. Oh, we've got a Cervelo S5 in. Oh, we've got a Venge. Oh, we've got a, you know, a Madone or whatever. We've got an Aeroad coming through. Oh, who's going to work on that? Like, you know, imagine having an argument with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you go to work and there's an Aeroad sitting there on the rack, or a Venge, or a, you know, so bikes used to be so much easier to work on. So that's what I do with Pragma bikes, make them easy to work on. You know, BSA bottom bracket, 27.2. No little, you know, seat posting can get caught in the frame, etc. Pragma Glycogen, the best bike out there. Best road race bike, most aero. People talk about aero bikes in the, like, man, I've ridden aero bikes, I've ridden aero disc bikes. I would never ever buy one. They ride like crap. Even for racing crits, they look cool though. They look very futuristic, you know, flared down tube and 50mm, 80mm wheels. Aero? That's not aero. Ride that in a crosswind. Like, you know what I mean? You're wasting watts and tension and muscle glycogen just trying to stay upright because your bike's like a sail and just getting buffeted around. That's not fun to ride. The most aero bike out there, if you're a triathlete, if you're a crit racer, you know, the most aero bike out there is like an old school Cannondale Super 6, one of my Pragma Glycogens, a giant TCR, a Canyon, not aero, the Canyon, you know, Ultimate. They're the most aero bikes out there. The skinny tube ones with a little 25 or 30mm rim depth. That's the most aero. Goes in any conditions. Massive gale force crosswinds. No worries. People have never ridden an aero bike or disc brake bike or whatever, an aero bike with aero wheels in gusting crosswinds. People haven't done that. Most people sit at home, oh, it's raining today, I'm not going to ride, which is me now. But if your job is out there as a pro rider in all conditions, these aero disc brake bikes suck to ride, man. Just especially when it's windy, because you're getting buffeted all around. So this whole thing, that aero, it's like, oh my god, that's such marketing. But yeah, anyway, you see on the forums, oh, this is a new Canyon Aeroad, 7.26 kilos. Oh, that's heavy, man. 7.2 kilos, what weight? And that's manufacturer's weight. Most manufacturers are jerking the gherkin when it comes to entering the data on how much does that bike weigh. If you want to know how much your bike weighs, go to like a bike shop, bring a little scale and say, hey, do you mind if I weigh the bike? You know, it'll be fine. They'll do it for you, so you don't scratch your frame. And then you'll know how much bike manufacturers bullshit you on the weight. A 48cm frame bike weighs the same as a 63. They use that same weight, don't they? Many brands. And people even say, oh, the new SL7 Tarmac is 6.8 kilos, Harley. It's on the UCI limit. Maybe. I'd like to weigh it myself. And if it is 6.8 kilos out of the box for 52, what about when you had a power meter? Oh, maybe it's got it installed. Okay. Pedals. I don't know about you, but I use pedals on my bike. Cages. Mounts. 7.2 kilos. For how much did that cost you, the SL7? When the SL3 10 years ago was almost about 6 kilos out of the box. Plain weight, you know. But they definitely were light. So these new bikes are getting heavier, and not heavier for strength, heavier for fashion. I don't believe people need carbon rims. I don't believe people need disc brakes on a road bike. Yeah. But if you want them, get them. But don't think you need them. The ultimate bike out there for me, race bike would be, you know, the ultimate. And every single pro rider out there will agree. Like a world tour rider, not pro as in like you live at home with your parents and race a few crits and, you know, live off your parents' money, which is fine. Living the dream, that's fine. I'm just saying, world tour rider, you know, look what they chose back in the day when they didn't have as much sponsorship pressure. They chose the skinny-walled, skinny-tube road bike with, you know, shallow section rims, a box section rim, etc. Lightweight, tubeless, just a bit faster, feel better, you know. Put that in a real world situation. I'm going to go a skinny-walled bike, a Super 6 back in the day, or a Canyon Ultimate back in the day, or a Specialized Tarmac way back in the day. Things like that. Pragma Glycogen is basically taking all those designs and going, what's the most proven frame out there? You know, mine. What's the most reliable factories I'm using? Same as what everyone else is using. And how much people charge for their bikes. I mean, I get it. They've got to, you know, the profit margins are insane. The profit margins, you've got to have, if you think of the warehouses these places have, logistics, the staff, the lawyers who are probably watching this video, the PR marketing who are probably watching this video, the riders they got to sponsor, the frames that get crunched up and broken and they get, you know, like, they're making some mad margins on those things. The bike, and then goes to the bike shop and they make a cut. And it's like, this is basically like we're dealing carbon fiber cocaine, you know, the amount of markup the big dogs have because they have buying power. Little minnows like me, minimal margins. Big dogs, you can see it in how much money they come through. Trek's like $1 billion company because of Lance Armstrong. Right? There's some serious money out there to be made. Serious money. Serious. It's amazing. It's amazing. And thank God for China. You know, I wouldn't buy anything from China typed on a computer made in China or a phone made in China. Trying to make great product. They also make some average product, very, very unsafe product in my experience. Some of the carbon fiber parts I've seen come out of China on eBay, AliExpress, I bought them in my quest to find the ultimate deal. And I was like, man, this is dangerous stuff. This is the fork steerer. The fibers are coming apart. That's not, yeah, that shouldn't be getting sold. Especially, you know, you want a fork failing, a frame that fails, cracks, yeah. But a fork that fails, that's catastrophic. You know, one-piece carbon bar and stem. Ali, what do you think of carbon bars? From any brand, I don't recommend them. All right, they just don't get carbon bars, man. I mean, I ride carbon bars on my bikes, but because I know how to maintain it and look for it, and I've, you know, just happen to have them. But I would never go into a bike shop in my life and go and buy carbon bars off the shelf, like. Anymore. Alloy, man. Stick with alloy. Carbon bars. If you crash them, they should be going in the bin. You know, they're just not safe to ride, in my experience. Mountain bike bars can be very strong though, because they're just straight. But once you curve the carbon, bam, bam. You know, they offer no advantage, zero advantage. You want a nice riding bike, then get some Spinnergy Z-Lights. They absorb most of the road shock. Yeah. Spinnergy Z-Light, best wheel out there. If you want a race wheel, it's something more lively and zippy. A Fulcrum Racing Zero alloy, second hand from a barrister, $300 US. You know, like it's crazy. The best stuff. This is the mic drop here. The best stuff out there is from 2010, 2008, 2015. Maximum 2016. That's the best product out there in terms of lightweight road race. After that, disc brakes come in, this integrated propaganda bullshit came in, you know, and it's just the quality has gone down in terms of maintenance quality, ride quality, all that stuff. Ticking bottom brackets, BB30, which specialized and finally, after 10 years of BB30 OSBB warranty issues, creaking bottom brackets, disgruntled customers, 10 years! Specialized finally said, hey, maybe this isn't working. Cannondale, can you follow suit? Can you put BSA back in your bike's place? You know. That's the deal. That's the rant But yeah, first world problems, man. This is all first world problems. I get passionate about this because I deal with customers every day. You know, I shouldn't say customers. I deal with cyclists every day. I'm a cyclist. I work on bikes every day. I don't want to, promote bikes that are just faff. But down the track, where will you get spare fork for that if you crash it? You hit you put your bike on the roof rack and you just tap it. And the frame's okay, but your fork's done. Where are you going to get I don't like seeing the whole thing thrown to landfill. Carbon fibre, it's not environmentally, that friendly. It can be repaired though. It can be really, used a lot. But, you know what I mean? So the frames are good, but the forks, I want stuff that's, you can get parts for. This Apple culture of soldering in the RAM, soldering in the logic board, soldering in the battery. So basically, in 5 years' time with an Apple computer, if the enter key breaks, you get the whole computer and chuck it into landfill. It's like, what? I like things where you can get spare parts from. Yeah, it's not good from an economic scale for greedy bankers who are involved in industry, but it's better for Mother Nature. It's better for the planet. And it's better for the end user to have a great relationship with the product where they can fix it themselves, And then when that makes everybody's life quality better, because things aren't stupidly expensive, because some greedy motherfuckers trying to get stupidly rich because they're competing with the other stupidly greedy mofos out there, who want to fly in private jets and stuff. That's just me, a little rant. I'm not going to change the world, but Gandhi said, be the change you want to see. So that's what I'm doing here at Pragma Bikes. And but anyway, some of the best bikes out there in the world right now are sitting in the spare rooms of barristers, surgeons, dentists, high-income people, YouTubers maybe as well, and then not getting ridden, and they're in immaculate condition, and they're under 7 kilos, and they're probably under $1,000 most of the time. They are the best bikes on earth right now, and they're out there if you know what to look for and where to look. So anyway, that's just a little rant and rave, just being totally transparent, totally honest. Canyon Aeroad Disc Brake bike, heavy, disappointing. Canyon's best bikes, 2010 to 2015, 100%, in my opinion.